Thank you very much for David Horowitz for the important work he does for all of us. The next moves of radical Islam are predictable. To achieve their goals, radical Muslims will use anything and everything: terrorism, lying, intimidation, coercion, and deception. They have no respect for the illegitimacy of any government or any constitution. And no government is Muslim enough for them, not even Saudi Arabia. In this dynamic, only tyrannical governments can survive in a Muslim state. Any wonder why almost all Muslim countries are ruled by dictators? Muslim leaders who promote democracy and peace are assassinated. A good example is President Anwar Sadat. Now radical Islam have their eyes on America, and they won't let go. They want to claim it to the caliphate. Muslim minorities across the globe are in a hostile relationship with their governments, their neighbors, and the larger community, demanding Sharia law, and even some are demanding a separatist movement. Radical Islam is constantly pushing the envelope, testing the patience of America with relentless confrontations, demands, and even lawsuits. We must learn from history. There were two superpowers in the old world, namely the Byzantine and the Persian empires. Egypt was a Coptic Christian nation, and its language was not Arabic. The two superpowers were tired and demoralized after too much fighting between them. In just a few decades, they were overwhelmed by Arabs from the Arabian Peninsula who were committed to using the power of religion and the sword to subjugate. Some Copts in Egypt even welcomed the Arab invaders to get back at their government. Egypt's language changed to Arabic and its religion to Islam in a few decades. The two superpowers never saw their glory days again. The only reason that Islam doesn't already rule Europe is that their armies were repelled in France in the 9th century, Spain in the 15th century, and in Austria on September 11th, 1683. Sharia law prescribes such punishments as the amputation of limbs, stoning and beheading, polygamy and beating of wives, oppression of women. The majority of Muslim countries, including Egypt, have never applied criminal Sharia law, which is the amputation of limbs and flogging and stoning. However, they all apply the family Sharia law, which is polygamy and wife beating, and many other rules that are very oppressive for women. You know why most Muslim countries don't apply the criminal side of Sharia law? Simply because they can't stomach it. It's too brutal, even. It's against human nature. Criminal Sharia law is simply cruel and unusual punishment by Western standards. Sharia is a dictator's dream handed to him by God. Western democracies are unprepared to deal with this. The naive liberal ideology and multiculturalism and political correctness crowd is undermining our ability to effectively protect ourselves. Muslim countries have total access to the West, but give us no access to Muslim countries. They prohibit building churches and synagogues on Muslim land and in their universities. Not one Muslim country on earth has Christian studies and Judaism studies departments in the universities. Only Islam is taught. The presence of Westerners on Muslim land is considered a desecration, filth, and an occupation. Radical Muslims cannot understand or cannot tolerate understanding the cultural reasons behind the success of the Jewish people. In their mind, it must be due to conspiracy and not due to merit of a culture that promotes excellence. Unable to explain success of the Jews in any other way other than power, they conclude that Jews somehow control America. Their plan is therefore to take over what they understand as control. Thus, we see copycat attempts to challenge Jewish institutions in America. If there's an AIPAC, then we must have an MPAC. If there's Jewish Anti-Defamation League, then we must have an Islamic Anti-Defamation League. From the pulpits of mosques, Jews and